よいしょー。よいしょー。ほいー。ほいー。お、早速。ロさんこんばんは。配信がどうやらやるらしいんですよね。で、どうやってあれをやるかがわからないんですよね。地味に。画面に映像出せればいいんだけどね。多分ちょっとこれ出し方がわからないから、一旦放っておきます。ロさんこんばんは。一旦放っておいて、まあ、わかるとこが出てきたら、やりましょう。なんかね、画面のキャプチャーの仕方がね、ちょっとわかんないんだよね。OBS のキャプチャーの仕方がちょっとわからぬなんだが、半々にしてる。ああ、そういうことね。そう、なんかOBS のね、ところに出したいんだよ。出したいんだけど、これどうやって出すんだろうと思って。ね。ハンドラは英語わかりません。英語わからないですが、とりあえず、まあ、英語を聞くね、練習だと思ってやろうとも思いますよ。とりあえずね。で、本来は、カウントダウンが15分前か、もしくは30分前かなから、カウントダウンが始まって、そこからやるっていう感じっぽいんで、まあ、とりあえずはね、それまではゲームやりましょう。で、ちょっと15分になったらカウントダウン始まるか見てみようかな。大体ね、いつもそうなんですけど、大体いつも何時から始まるよって告知があって、その始まるよってやった時からカウントダウンなんで、まあ大体そうでしょうっていつも思ってるけど。なんかそれまで終わらせられそうなやつあるかな。準備必要ならあんまりできないけど。そう、いつもカウントダウンしてますよね。そうだよね。えーっと、どうしようかな。うーん。この辺だと思うけど、今ね、ディスコードの、あれなんですよね。いつもいるグループのディスコードのところの通話にも入ってる状態で、マイクとスピーカーをミュートにしてる状態なんで、まあ、とりあえず入ってはいるような状態だけど、今15分前になったと。15分前になったけど、特にはないスケジュールを見てみようか。スケジュール。あ、これかなこれだな、多分。配信に参加。あ、これだな。あ、配信参加できたな。できた。できたぞ。チャットには入れた。オッケーオッケーオッケー。チャットには入れたぞ。チャットには入れたけど、これがどうやって始まるかはちょっとわかりません。多分ここで合ってるはず。多分ここで合ってるはずだね。そしたら、どうしようかな。ここを、この今配信の画面をディスコードに移せるかな。てか、いいか、これを、これブラウザをやって入れるもんか。あ、カウントダウン始まってるね。 カウントダウン始まってますね。ちょっと放送の音声を入れます。15分前、12時半からスタートですね。ちょっと放送の音声入れますね。このまま。で、一旦ちょっとディスコードは閉じて、配信は始まってるから、この画面ってどうやって映すんだろうな。翻訳ポスト。まあ誰かがやってくれるでしょう。アンドラ英語わからないし。これさ、ブラウザにしてさ、この URL 入れたらいけない？ダメか？ブラウザにしてこの URL 入れたらさ、いかないもんじゃない？あ、いけてる？これいけてない？これいけてるっぽい。いけてるか。いけてるっぽいな。いけてるっぽいけど、なんか音クソでけえわ。どうやって変えるんだろう、これ。これ配信見えてるよね、みんな。OK、ありがとう。音クソでけえわ。ちょっとスピーカーの音、自分の耳の音を下げて。これどっから音出てんだろう、今。音が死ぬほどでかい。音がでかいしか言えない。どっから出てんのこの音。なんかね、ライブ配信の音ゼロにしても聞こえちゃうんだけど、多分何かだな。何かの音が聞こえてるな、これ。クソうるせえ。まあ、いっか。デカデカの音で楽しむか。よし。ツイッチの設定かな？なんか、あ、これ多分あれか、このルームに入った時に BGM 聞こえちゃうのかな？どれわかりませんね。多分 OBS の方の音が入ってるのかな？これを見る限りは。音クソでけんだが、こいつちょっと頼む耳が死ぬ。初めてやるところだ。なんだどうすればいいんだこれ。プロパティ。あ、オッケー、ちっちゃくなった。オッケー。これ音二重か？そんなことない？OBS わかんねえな、これほんと。まあいいか。今の通り行くか。よし、行くぞ。これで行くぞ。ちょっとわかんないわ。わかんないからこれで行くわ。音がクソでけえってことだけは確かだ。まあ配信が見れればいいか。あ、 オッケーオッケー、音制御できたわ。ようやく制御できた。オッケー。よし。あと7分ですね。7分で回れるのって何があるかな？あ、あれだと思う。配信のね、設定ですね、これは。配信を、ハンドルがね、通常の遅延でやっちゃってるんで、多分若干のね、あれはあると思います。差はあると思いますんで。遅延がね、若干あると思いますんで、そこはご注意ください。リアルタイムの通常のライブの方の今出てる画面と実際放送されてる画面は多分若干違うと思います。これ見えてんの？見えてる？なんか俺の画面だと多分一生あれに見えるけど。俺の画面だと配信できてないように見えるけど。あ、見えてんだ。すげえ。すごいね。ちゃんと見えるんだね。初めてやってるわ、これ。よーし。じゃあまず、7分あったら何ができるかですよね。よしよしよし。じゃあこっちはこっちでやるか。6分。何もできなさそうだね。6分だと何もできない可能性がある。1アクティビティぐらいできるか？ 1 アクティビティぐらいできそうだね。6分あれば。なんか練習やるか。CC の練習とかするか。なんかの練習をしてしまおう。まあ今ゴールデンバレットあるから、カウントダウンあれいけるかな？ CP いけると思う。5分でしょ？いけるよ。ゴールデンバレットあるし。しまった。ゴールデンバレットあるしって言っときながら有効になってないわ。タイムロスですね。俺今ディセントをしたね。最悪。うまくいっていない。いろいろとうまくいっていない。すべてがうまくいっていないぞ。4分だ。4分で何ができる？っしゃ、行くぞ。増援近いところ、どこだろうね。あんま覚えてないんだよね。そもそも CP あんまやらない人だからそこもあんまりわからないんだよね。適当に行くか。最悪始まっちゃってもいいや。始まっちゃったら途中で帰る。こっち行くか。こっちだな。人質に行くか。こっちの方が良さそう。やっほー。こんにちは。しゃあ行くぞ。あ、これ味方ですね。痛い痛い。はい、終わり。終わっちゃった。あと2分ある？まだいけるね。あ、パンチトランクが出た。いらない。アイテムパンパンなのか、俺。 アイテムパンパンなんだ。アイテムパンパンマンだな。さすがにちょっと今これ行くのは無理だな。これは標的は無理だから、これ、懸賞金終わらせるのってどうやってやるんだっけ？終わらせるのできないんだっけ？詳細を表示。あった。中止する。OK。懸賞金残しておこう。ちゃんとね。もう1、あと2分か。もう1いけるな。あと1分半で味方を助けてやるぜ。さあ、行くぞ。お前だな、多分。違った。行くぞ。OK。まだいける？あと1分あるね。OK。いいね。ちょうどいい？ちょうどいい時間だね。帰るか。お、オックスの祈りも出るね。いらないけど。標的は近いぞ、エージェント。よーし。じゃあホワイトハウス戻りましょう。そうだね、シーズントレーラー公開される可能性が一番あるかな、とりあえず。そしたら、ゲームのこの音声を一旦ほぼゼロにして、で、録画を開始。始まった。
Hello, everyone. I guess we're live unexpectedly. We're just talking about the cards if they in the right position or they're upside down. They should be fine. But hello, everyone. My name is Daria. I'm the community developer for Division2, and today with me, Yannick, creative director for the Division2, and welcome to Year 5, Season 3 Vanguard livestream special report. And apart from the new season, we're also going to be coming back to Project Resolve, discussing some changes that were made following BTS feedback that we received, and showing you some new goodness. But before that, to remind you of the events of the previous season and transition to Season 3, let's watch analyst report made by NGN.
Agents, we've recovered 5 more hostages that were taken during the attack on the White House, including Vic's sister, Birdie, who has vital intel on the Black Tusk's infrastructure and systems, and Nat's plans for the mobile SHD servers, as it was Birdie who was tasked with building and maintaining their power supply. However, it was through this rescue that another layer of deceit was uncovered. Agent Brian Johnson was unmasked as the recruiter. Johnson used his position as your handler to hide intel that was uncovered, and was almost successful in stealing the mobile SHD server. The revelation that hunters walk among the agents further divides the already fragmented division ranks, and Vic questions who else could be a hunter and points the finger at Kelso. Manny refuses to believe that Kelso is a hunter. However, we are unable to clear her name at this stage because she has gone missing. Agents, we need to find Kelso and uncover what she has been doing in New York.
なんか最後だけ聞き取れたわ。
Thank you so much.
ケルソを探す必要があるぜってことだけ聞き取れた。
Recap, and I think pretty much all of you already guessed that our main goal for season 3 is to locate missing Agent Kelso.
What is going on with Kelso? That's the question, right? you may remember from season 11, we had the conclusion of season 11 with the attack on the White House. And then at the end of that, Kelso said she was going to go to New York to check on Heaven and make sure that this settlement was secured. And well, we haven't really, talked about it or emphasized that, but she hasn't come back since. She has been spending quite some time in New York, like during season 1 and season 2, as we were rescuing civilians. She was all the time in New York. Manny mentioned that a couple of times. So now it's time to actually go and see what has she been up to, and now she's gone missing. So what's going on there?
And this time around, what is especially
ケルソ
interesting
が
about the
なん
season
で
is that
一緒にいの時はいなかっ
we
た
are
けど、
not going to be going
まあなんであっ
after
ち行っちゃったんだろう
specific
ね
people
みたいな
after
感じの
specific
話ですよね
targets.
多分。
Those are going to be the locations. So basically, agents are tasked with retracking Kelso's steps and following her and looking at the clues that might be at those locations.
Yeah, it's just another twist on the Manhunt formula. So, we used to have enemy targets. Then in the past couple of seasons, we had civilians to rescue. And this time it's going to be not direct targets, but it's going to be about investigation and retracing the steps of Kelso and finding out and catching up to her and understand what's happening here.
このぐらいのサイズやっちゃっても大丈夫だと思う。
And for the Manhunt, we can also reveal the calendar. That is,
そうこれディスコードに入っちゃってるのか。
I would say, surprising, considering that some of the details we just gave out about the specific locations, but also about the apparel events this season.
Do we have the calendar?
We do.
Oh.
Here it is. Yeah, less faces, more places. So as we said, every target now is actually a location. And yes, you can see at the bottom of that 2 apparel events this season. Again, a brand new one, Veil Tactics.
これは
And then a return as a second apparel event in the season, a return of Last Resort, which was the apparel event we did, I think was with the release of Warlords of New
ケ
York,
ルソがターゲ
which
ッ
was
トで
revisiting looks
なんかあれ
inspired
かな
from the New York faction, so the cleaners
そ
and the
の
Rikers. So a pretty cool apparel event.
今まで
And we're
は
gonna talk
人だったけど
about it in more
場所になる
detail
の
a
か
bit
今度
later,
解放
but let's also watch
するような
the
感じか
new trailer for the season 3 Vanguard.
おアニメーションだ
I trust Kelso. I don't believe she could be a hunter.
リクルーターのマスクですね
But trust has to be earned. When we put it in the wrong people. Just look at what's happened to this country. Agents were trained to blend in, to hide in plain sight. How can we know their true mission? We can't survive without trust. I trust Kelso. But I've been wrong before.
あ出たヴィンディケーター衣装イベントかな衣装イベントがあるとなんかかっこいいねプロジェクトリザブラックだ1000のバグを直した嘘だろあ PVP の質を上げるみたいなの書いてあるねやっぱり
What a nice trailer. It reminds me about something.
いいトレーラーだ
I can't really pinpoint. What is that? Who knows?
I did not understand that reference. But yeah, I mean, this season it's about trust, really, and that's what the trailer is about. It's we ended last season with, of course, the betrayal of betrayal. It's a question of point of view of Agent Johnson, finding out that Johnson was a hunter embedded in the ranks of the Division, and that throws a lot of distrust amongst the ranks of the good guys, Manny and the Division and everybody else, on like who else could actually be a hunter, or if not even a hunter, like embedded agents working for the enemy. And with Kelso going missing and Kelso having been gone for so long,
行方不明なのか
some
な
people
ミ
are
ッシン
starting
グ
to
って
ask
ずっと言ってん
questions,
から
and that's what we're going to try to clear up.
Yeah, but the reference that you
なん
didn't
か
catch was to the
ニューヨークのさ
New York
どことどこの
Ah.
地区を調査しに行くって言ってたよ
The
ね
similar
前のシーズンの時に
animation style, but
That's true. There was some of that, yes.
I don't know if it means anything, to be honest. Probably just an artistic point of view.
これケルソなのかな
But
So yeah.
ぶっ
So
ちゃけ
here
言
you
う
have
と
it.
映る
The
たんびに顔が変わるか
new,
らケルソの顔わかんねえんだ
the
よ
new
な
visual for this season, and once again, this is about Kelso, and this is about going to find her. In the process, Kelso gets a bit of a glow up, but yeah, let's go and hunt her down and find out what she's been up to.
And of course, story is not the only thing that is going to be shown in the new season. As usual, it comes with a bunch of new gear, new weapons, and let's talk about
そうウィンディ
the
ケー
gear
ター
as
出
well.
てた
Some
ね
of you
ビケン
may
タ
have
ー
had
出
a
てた
chance
の
to
と
test
あと
it,
イージスが
on
出てた
the
ね
BTS that we had in January, and changes-wise, we're going to talk about it separately to highlight whatever was done to few gear pieces and talents following the PTS. But for now, I just would love to show some of them in full glory. So this is the
かっこいいね
Aegis.
イージスだ
That's a new gear set.
イージスそうあれだよね LMB
It's
の
very on brand for
やつだよねマークついてんだよね
Well, it's also a bit of a throwback of LMB looking stuff also. So for people who play
そうだね
Division 1,
LMB
it's
の
going to be a nice
スタッフに見えるって書いてあったね
a nice thing to be looking for. It has some pretty nice, dark and red tones, which were the colors of the LMB. I know
あれだね
it was white a lot as well.
あれ
but
と
the
合うね
logo was actually a lot
コン
of
デンサー
black
とよ
and
く合う
red,
ね
so,
色が
so that was the inspiration here. And yeah, I think we have something that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and the logo is very easy to recognize.
And of course, this
バック
season
なんて
is a
まんまだ
lot
もんね
about enemy and aggro management and being targeted or not being targeted. So a bunch
お
of the
これあれかアイアン
gear
グル
that we see
グリップ
in
だっけ
here,
アイアングローブだっ
or
け
that we will see in this season is about that.
新しいギアのグローブですね
gear set. Not the gloves, but other pieces as well.
カバー
Yeah,
から
those are
の
the new exotic
カバー
ones,
打ちか
by
な
the way. Rocket
あの
gauntlets.
カバーからの連射が
Mhm.
乱射の精度が上が
Yeah,
るやつ
these
で
are
すよね
about stability and weapon handling and all that. So it's a different idea, but it's trying to find some gloves that could be useful for people who want weapons to be easier to handle. I know it's quite niche, and we've heard a lot of feedback on the PTS. We fixed some issues with them. I'm jumping ahead because this is in the PTS part, but yes, it's a different thematic.
Yeah, but also this time around we'll have a new exotic pistol called Mosquito. You can
Mosquito ね
see it right now.
これちょっと面白いですよね敵のヘイトを向けられるっていう強制の銃ね
And also there is another exotic rifle, Vindicator,
Mhm.
that is
Vindicator ね
exclusive to Descent.
Yes.
And we're gonna talk about it in more detail separately because we have a specific descent
なんか
part of the
Mhm.
live stream. But yeah, to address the questions that we
ウィンディ
saw
ケ
in
ーターはディセン
community, there
ト
was
の
some
NS キャッシ
confusion
ュのみの
regarding
解
this
除ってことでいいの
specific
かな
exotic weapon.
ディセン
Yes,
ト内だけで出るとはちょっと
exclusive
違う
to
でしょ多分
Descent. It's only available
ディセントの NS キャッシュのみでの購入ってことでいいのかな前のなんかノートを見ると
anywhere else. As soon as you acquire it in
野良の
Descent,
ドロップでないっ
you
てい
are
うこ
free
とか
to take it with you
な
to
わかんねえなちゃんと英語読めてないから
Yeah, exactly. It's just it can only be obtained through Descent, but then once you have it, you use it normally on your character, and you can play it wherever you want. It is an exotic piece you keep with you.
And for now, it's not that there are any plans to make it available through other modes.
Not yet. I mean, it's we've seen some of the exclusives being added to the Dark Zone after a while. We may want to do that. We will see, but we're going to give it some time, and it's going to be for Descent for a while, and later on the road, maybe we make it more available to other places as well. But we really like the idea of having a piece of gear that you can only get through that game mode.
Yeah, and it also has this very distinct appearance. So kind of screams Descent.
Yeah.
But talking about other seasonal gear pieces, and I mentioned that we want to come back to the PTS feedback and some changes that were made following the
なんか PTS のデータを得て、いろんな人からの意見をもらって、なんかいろんなデータを変えるみたいなことを言ってるかな。
Some of the gear pieces. So let's talk about the PTS results. And
PTS リゾルト。
first of all, I think
これこの間のノートに出てたやつと同じですよね。
The newest talent, the behind you talent. There were a few changes made to it. And first of all,
次世代で出るのは違う。そうだよね。タレントあるもんね。多分 NSA キャッシュのところじゃないかなと思ったんだけど、パッチノートっていうか PTS には NSA キャッシュのところにあったから NSA のところにあったけど、もしくはドロップのみにするとかね、ディセントの。わかんないけど。
Availability on other weapons was not intentional, and we decided basically to limit it to MMRs and rifles because the talent was too powerful combined with some other weapons.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the moment we announced it and it did not come with a limitation to specific weapon types, I mean, a lot of people just immediately identified that this could be a problem with paired with some weapon types. So it makes sense, and yes, that was kind of the intention to begin with. So yeah, feedback just confirmed our assumptions, and it was an easy change to make.
Yeah, and also there is going to be the decrease in amplified damage, and you're probably better equipped to comment on that than I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna do the math, but basically, you know, there is a difference between damage increase and damage amplify in the game, and if you're not aware of that, well, this is you learning about it, and that's why we use those two different terms.
武器とかのダメージ
And
の
it has
話を
to
してるのか
do
な。
with the way the damage bonus is calculated, and basically, the gist of it is amplifies are much stronger bonuses than increase, so for some of those items, they had actually the text mentioned increase, and the bonuses, the value of the bonuses were built with increase in mind, but they were actually made amplify damages, which means they were ridiculously powerful. So what we've done is we've kept them as amplified because that's more interesting for the mechanics of those of that item, but therefore we've decreased the damage bonus to something that is more in line with what an amplify would normally do. So ultimately, it's not a nerf. I know that compared to PTS values, it might look like a nerf, but this is an alignment to therefore reflect the fact that these are intended as amplify bonuses and not increase bonuses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm just
P5
going to
の
mention it quickly
ボーナス
that this change in particular would be available right upon the release, but the localization change they're going to highlight the move to amplify damage from the weapon damage. That is something that's going to come with 20.1, so the next smaller title update. But honestly, apart from that, this information was released as a part of the dev commentary following the phase 2. So if you want to read in detail and see the values and how and why the changes were made, you're welcome to visit our Trello board and find this information in the dev commentary. So basically, everything that we're reciting right now is not a new information. It was previously available. Just want to make sure that the wider community is also aware of the changes. And another thing with Ortiz assault interference, that's the talent from the Vindicator, the new exotic weapon available through Descent, the one that we showed right now. Also starting with the TU20 release, amplified damage gonna decrease from 75 to 40%. Basically the same reason, and also
イン
localization.
ディケーターとかなんかダメージが高すぎたから下げるとか言ってる？
To explain why the values can be updated and localization needs to wait a little bit, basically this has to do with the builds and submission time, and sometimes the changes in the values. It's easier, they can be made faster than the localization because there are a lot of languages, they need to be updated. So, you know.
なんかミッションの速さとかにもよってみたいなことを言ってるかな。
The value is on the server, the text is on your client. And if we if we want to patch your client, we need to make a patch you're going to download, and that takes time because it has to go through certification and all that. Localization takes extra time. Changing a value is just a number we can change on the server. I'm oversimplifying it, and some devs might be having a heart attack here, but that's the general gist of it. So it's much easier. Or even if we change it in a game on the client, still we don't necessarily need to make to go through all the hoops of actually localizing and all of that. So yes, changing the value is much faster than actually adapting the text that has to go with that. These are some of the hoops of running live games.
Still important to highlight, so the incorrect localization, incorrect text do not throw you off by seeing the difference between how the talent or the gun behaves compared to what it says about its supposed behavior. At least now you know. And the last thing that I think it's important to highlight, rugged gauntlets, the new exotic gloves. We also received some feedback about them, that some players felt that they're a little bit underwhelming, and the original intention was to give the talent stability and accuracy bonus, but since it's a PTS and bugs occur, and sometimes some features or some weapons, they end up on the PTS in their unfinished state. So it's not final, but that is what PTS is about. It's about testing. It's about understanding how well balanced different features and weapons are. So basically, due to this malfunction, we understand why it may felt that way, why it may felt underwhelming.
Yeah, and I think we have, both feedback also. We have the people that tried it and thought it was underwhelming, and we have people who just, on principle are not interested in this kind of item. And of course, you are only allowed to have one exotic equipped, so why would you sacrifice a much more powerful exotic for something like that is a bit more niche and a bit more quality of life in a way. But that's just, there's a lot of exotics in the game, so I think it's good for us to try things and see if there's actually a crowd for that, or if there's we know that a lot of players can be very creative in the way to use those items. So maybe there's going to be some interesting mechanics coming out of it. And yeah, let's see. But it's something we've never tried, so let's see how that goes.
Yeah, just to finish off everything, basically the issue was resolved after the PTS, and should work as intended, giving both stability and accuracy bonus. But everyone is welcome to try and test it starting tomorrow. And let's move
なんかまあ
to
明日でだいたい明らかになるから
Hunter's
みたいな
Fury
ことしか
also,
聞いてなかっ
Skip
た。
I
Sorry
did.
about that.
I did.
But yeah, the gist of Hunter's Fury, just to talk about it, is yes, so we are reducing the bonus on the 3-piece bonus from plus 100% health on kill to plus 50% health on kill. And the main reason for that is because on the side, with all the changes we're doing to brand sets, health bonuses are going to be much more of a thing now. And so actually having health-based builds is going to be more accessible.
なんか
and therefore
ハンターズ
we
フュー
wanted
リ
to
ー
make
の
sure that Hunter's
回復
Fury,
力
which
を
is a great set for health builds,
下げ
does
て
not become
他のブランド
completely
セットのや
overpowered
つ
with
が
that.
HP のやつが多い
And
か
doing
ら使わせたいみたいな
100%
ことを
health on
言ってるかな。
would have been ridiculous. So it's just us anticipating health builds and therefore giving
ハン
more
ターズ
tools
フュー
to
リーを
make
ハーフ
Hunter's Fury
半
more
分
interesting,
HP
but
回復量
therefore
が半
making
分
sure
半分になる
it's
って言ってたのかな。まあなんかこれはでも聞いてたやつだよね。
at the right level of power and doesn't become a new meta.
ブランドセットで HP を増やすからそれが全回復するとはちょっとやばいからっていうような感じでしょうね。
Because last time you were criticized for shuffling your cards, and this time around I couldn't even see that there is another point left to be talked about in the
Pay
cards that I
attention.
made. Okay, season pass. Yeah, finally.
シーズンパスだね。
Just a quick reminder that a season pass is going to be available for 1,000 premium credits in the-game store. It grants additional access to a really cool outfit and a mask called Menpo. And it's going to be available basically to all the Warlords of New York owners and Ubisoft Plus subscribers. And just to show you a few things, here is Menpo, by the way. Very
かっこよくね
cool samurai-looking mask,
Samurai.
an outfit, also in the colors of the season. Really love how it looks.
ほんと着物っぽくなってるね。
This time around, we're gonna have
内側が
9
かっこいいね。
10 dies, 2 new emotes, 2 vanity outfits. This is one
かっ
of
こいい
them.
かっこいい。
There is also another one that is more tactical, called Crescent. And yeah, there are some very, very fun weapon skins that I would love for you to see if we can.
なんか武器スキンも
Oh, this
新
is
しく
another outfit
出るよっつって
called
るね。
Crescent.
This is
It's
Crescent, yeah.
more tactical one.
タクティカル版。ほう、
And
グロングレー
some
あ
of the
てか
weapon
面白いこれ。
skins.
何これ。このスキンいいね。
I honestly do not really remember what's
こ
in
の
with
ス
this
キン
one.
いいじゃないですか。
We don't have the names on the
Yeah,
cards. So
I'm really sorry, but I really love
and,
the
and
look of it.
somehow we don't know all of them by heart.
かっこいいね。
prepared. This is a nice one.
I think this one is called business casual though.
G36。
Yeah.
If that's the incorrect name, I will personally say sorry to
かっこいいね。
Ali and his whole
Mhm.
team.
シンプル。シンプルで一番いい。なんだこれ。
This one is
純
very
金みてえなやつがあるぞ。MP5 か、これ。かっこいい
So
ね。
yeah, season pass available for 1,000 premium credits in the store. That's something that you probably already
かっ
know.
けえじゃん。
And the last thing to cover for the new season for Vanguard is the apparel events.
Yep.
And as we mentioned it
ああ、衣
early
装イベン
and
ト
you
です
saw on the
ね。
calendar, we're going to have 2 of them. One is a completely new one, and another one coming back from year 2 season 3. Yes, the one from Concealed Agenda.
Was it? Okay.
This is the new
こ
one.
れかっこいいよね。
And yeah, this
Veiled
one features 4 new
Tactics.
outfits.
Tactics
and,
のあれか
this one is going to be a completion
なん
reward.
かあれだよね。
And yeah, let's look at them.
あかっこよくねなんか
Yeah,
世紀
so
末感
this
がや
is
ばくね
this was the idea with this one of, we try to alternate
世紀
a
末
bit
感
in
が
the
出てる
different
ね。
styles and fantasies. So with this one, we wanted to go back to something much more military inspired. So there's a bit more armor plating here. This one is one of the heavy ones, so some shoulder pads, some ammo belts here, and black and tactical, of course. So yeah, and then we have don't know if we have videos for them. Yes, we do. Then we played a bit also with with a bit more camo, with a bit more ghillie suits and things like that to use to try to create looks and styles we haven't
なん
had.
かシャープシューター
So
の
there's always room for more.
あれだよ
nice
ね
hoodies.
そうやつがあったよね。
But what about netted hoodies like this one, for example?
ああ惜しいな
So,
これ上だけ欲しいんだよ
so yeah,
な。
it's more military, more tactical.
弾幕型
new-
そうそうそう
new options that we
弾
haven't
体が
played
ね
before.
垂れ下がってるね。
Once again, the team is having more and more fun playing.
あ
around
の
with
あれが
what's,
欲しかったんだよ。
what
ハン
they
ター
can do
の
in the
さ
game and creating new things. So this is
ギリーフードみたいなやつが
pretty
ね
exciting to see all those new looks
欲しかったんだけど
coming out.
あれは
And
ちょっ
this
と
one
惜しい
is
な。
probably my favorite.
上の
Yeah, it looks very, very
あ
nice.
の頭から下げる
There's
チャラチャラ
the
のやつ
true
だけ欲しかっ
essence
た。
of, camouflaging yourself.
ハンターマスクくれよ。
And then a bit more
軍服っぽい。
traditional maybe camo one and military one for people that are a bit more down to earth, but still nice looking, bit more
It's like Che Guevara aesthetic.
maybe a bit more detailed and a bit more slick compared to what
Mm.
those that we've done in the past. It's nice sometimes to revisit things that are closer to what we've done many years ago, but adding all the learnings and all the improvements and all the new expertise that the team has built.
But at least now we have such a wide range and such a big variety of different styles. Like if you want to be dressed down in neon stripes and cat ears, we have something for you. But also if you're a fan of concealing yourself and proper camouflage, that apparel event is for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's ever going to be one style, but everybody is going to be, in love with and saying this is the one, and we want only that forever moving forward. If there's that, sure, but I don't think so. So it's just we're trying to alternate the different fantasies and the different styles between the more tactical, the more agent fantasy, the more military, the more civilian, and sometimes some things that are a bit more out there, like we had, with
そうだね。全部かっこいいね。ミリタリー感強めですね。いいね。
So we're trying different things, and hopefully, eventually everybody finds something that they like.
When we were finalizing the results of the previous season for the fun stats, apparently the jean ramen, the cap with the cat ears, that was the most popular outfit item from the previous season.
Cat ears.
Cat ears. And yeah, the last resort, the apparel event is coming back from this. I think it was concealed agenda. It says so in my notes, so probably that is correct.
Must be right. Yeah.
Must be right. But then again, I was the one compiling the notes, so who knows?
So Pastaria knew what she was writing. Anyway, it's from year 2 for sure, and this was built on the factions of Warlords of New York, as mentioned earlier. So there's 2 outfits, 2 Riker-inspired outfits, 2 Cleaners-inspired outfits. I think there's like 1 heavy one and 1 lighter one for each of those factions. So some really nice and popular pieces. So if you were not here when that Apparel event was running a few years ago, well, now's your chance to catch up. I mean, not now, but this season.
When is the heat wave coming back? My favorite one.
Let's do a poll. Let's ask the community.
2回目のやつ。
when the heat wave come back.
I know that it's one of those things that me and community we cannot agree on sometimes, but it was fun. I think it was very fitting for Washington.
Maybe one day we could revisit a summer-inspired, beach-themed Apparel event, but I guarantee you the team today would do something that would probably look a bit better.
Flip-flops for the win. One last thing to mention, it's not a part of the apparel event. It's gonna be one of the few cosmetic bundles, something new that the team is also working on. But this is what players have been asking for a long time, and basically all the outfits of Keener and his lieutenants gonna be available throughout the season. So you can buy the whole look. I don't know if you were a fan of, Kajika or Dragov.
Yeah,
or Keener.
You will be able to dress yourself up as one of the characters of Warlords of New York. These are uniforms, so they're complete looks. And they will be made available throughout the season.
キーナーとかのユニフォームも変えたらいいよねってなって。
And the idea is just, we're going back to New York. We're going to be trying to find Kelso, going through all those locations.
まあなんか地味にこの2人の間の奥にあるスティンガーハイムが欲しいんだよね。
Bring back those looks and make them available.
I'm so looking forward to Keener's outfit. But that's pretty much it about the new season Vanguard. It's going to be available tomorrow, right after the main.
とりあえず明日からですね。明日から明らかになることが多いってことですね。これを見てると。
But that's not everything that we wanted to talk about this stream. The next big thing that we're moving to is Project Resolve. And since we already had stream where we covered pretty much everything regarding Project Resolve, there are still a few things that we want to either highlight or remind you about, or show gameplay to illustrate some of the new features that were added to the game as a part of Project Resolve, and talk about the changes that were made following 2 PTS phases that we had. But just to remind you about Project Resolve and what that is, we still have the video on our Twitch channel with the live stream with me and Yannick, and also the message from Yannick himself and our producer in Bucharest, Radu, where they explain what Project Resolve is and why it took us so many months to actually come to this grand conclusion, and I would just love to take a moment and congratulate the whole team on their hard work, because pretty much people were working tirelessly starting from August and up until this moment, bringing new features to the game, making sure that stability feels much better and there are less crashes. And those of you who tried the game on the PTS, you know that it really is true, and we managed to tackle a lot of things.
Yeah, and I think it was, it was needed for the game to take the time to actually do some fixes and work on improvements and all that. But I mean, again, the foundation of this is really improving the quality more than all the quality of life, which is what we've done as well. But it was really about quality and stability and performances. And it was needed for the game, and hopefully, people will notice a difference when this comes out. And I hope all of you, especially those of you that have been struggling from issues, will see these issues fixed. But I think it was also great for the team, and the team did a good job at tackling all of that and accepting the change of schedule and roadmap as well, because we had to change our content plan because of that, which is never easy. But it's what's been amazing is to see everybody react to that, and the excitement in the team for people to actually be able to go back and fix stuff, because bugs are frustrating for everybody playing, but bugs are frustrating for us as well. Nobody likes to ship something that is broken or that is bugged, and very often, people would like to actually go back and take the time to fix those things. And our content plans don't necessarily always allow for a lot of time to do some bug fixing. So when we told the team, okay, we're going to put everything on hold and you go back through your backlogs and you're going to be able to fix all those bugs, a lot of people were actually very excited to get to do that. And I think this shows in the numbers. The amount of bugs that were fixed, the amount of improvements that were put in here, this was way beyond our expectations when we started working on this. So it's just, kudos to the team for really pushing through this and delivering something that hopefully is going to make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And even working through all the changes, sitting through all the sprints, trying, personally, it's my personal experience trying to wrap my mind around all the plan changes and fixes. That's a very grandiose work that's been done by the team. So congratulations to all of our colleagues in Bucharest for making it happen. And we really hope that all of you will be able to find something in Project Resolve that corresponds and resonates with you specifically, and with the rest of the community. I mean, stability improvements, that's one of the biggest milestones.
Yes.
But since I mentioned that we won't be going through everything that we showed last time, mostly because we already had the Project Resolve dedicated live stream that goes into very specific and nitty-gritty details. Plus, we're going to have the full patch notes released tonight after the live stream, I believe. Those 35 pages, something of changes.
Yeah, pretty extensive.
Pretty extensive, and I'm 100% sure that not everything might be there. There
probably missed stuff.
Yeah, might be things that are in the game, but not necessarily highlighted in budget. But the important thing, the biggest, the most important, improvements, balancing changes, new features, that's in the patch notes. Maybe some smaller stuff that we missed.
That we know of.
Yes. That we know.
There's always a rogue dev somewhere that made a change and didn't inform the chain of command.
This is what's going to happen with them, see?
Yeah. Not allowed to face the camera anymore.
Next stream that we have.
ブライアン・ジョンソンがいるんだよね、後ろのフィギュアに。
But
いいな。
there are a few things that I would love to highlight Project Resolve-wise, and I think we should start with the combat Gearlock, because that is the topic that generated a lot of discussions during the PTSs.
Yeah, probably the most amount of discussion. And with Gearlock, I mean, we're not going to go through the whole thing again, but it's, we thought it was an important change needed for the game, and I still believe, partially that this is an important change. But ultimately, I mean, the feedback has been very strong and very convincing that we need to find another way to address the problems we are trying to address, and something that is maybe a bit less impactful in terms of the many years of playing the game and habits that players that you have developed playing the game. So our intention was not to just completely change the way you think about your builds and you think about engaging with content, and we didn't want to limit the options. That wasn't our intention, and it's become clear that this change which we felt was fairly minor in terms of impact. We realized that actually many more people than we thought, like to be able to change their gear on the fly and during combat. So we put it back. You're allowed to, or we put it back. We removed Gearlock, and so this is going to go back to the way it was. Well, to the way it is on the live game, basically. So you will be able to change your gear. But the caveat is that we still want to bring it to Conflict. We still think it's important for the vision that we're trying to implement in Conflict and all the changes we're making, and making Conflict a bit more of a structured PvP mode. So it will not be implemented in TU20 because we had to revert it everywhere, but we're going to extract the part that
大事って言ってる
applies it to Conflict.
コンフリクトの
implement that one in the game again with TU20.1. So expect Gearlock to come back in
TU20.1
Conflict
の
only with
で
TU20.1.
コンフリクトのなんか仕様、ギアロックの仕様を変えるっつってるのかな
You will only be able to swap your gear on spawn areas.
ギアロックはとりあえずなしだけど、コンフリクトはやった方がいいよねっていうのは言ってて、
You
み
win
たいな
that
感じじゃなかったかな
That
今
one
聞いてる限りだと。
There were a lot of discussions, not only within the community, also among the team members. And
コンフリクトだったらちゃんとそこは直した方がいいよねっていうふうなこと言ってるよね。20.1 でなんかその辺は調整していくぜっつってるから。
Hopefully could address the issues we are trying to address without having to drastically change the experience, but that's future talk.
Yeah, and since we already started talking about conflict, there are also a few changes that are coming to conflict with Project Resolve. Some of them you probably already know about. Some of them were available.
コンフリクトさ、なんかあれだったよね。
But yeah, just to recite everything, extended loot
コン
pool.
フリクトさ、リスポン地点にタレット置くっつってて置かなかったんだよね、
Cache
結
is
局。
going to be giving more items, and with the possibility of the third one. Also, there was a significant XP boost to align with all the world
ああ、経
activities.
験値ね。
And I think we mentioned it already, but just once again, shade and expertise bonuses were removed from the conflict. I know that there were also some feedback regarding that, and some people might feel upset about this removal, but that is another thing that we explained in detail on the Project Resolve stream that we had in December.
Yeah, and it's I mean, just to explain it here just for a minute, but it's just
まあブースト欲しいよね。
with conflict,
コンフリク
we
ト
want
の。
conflict to be the purest PvP experience, where gear still matters, but the optimization of your gear and the time you've spent optimizing that gear is less important, and what is more important is your skill as a player. So
まあなんか
your
ギ
gear
アの理解を
matters,
す
but
る
it
ことも
shouldn't
プレ
be
イヤ
the
ー
deciding
スキル
factor
の方
between
も
you
大
and
事だ
another
しみたい
player.
なことを言
What
って
we
たよ
want
ね。
to
コン
be
フ
the
リクトは
deciding
やる
factor
ことがいっ
between
ぱい
you
あ
and
るっつっ
another
て。
player is how good of a player are you playing this cover-based shooter game, and going back to a more shooter feel. If you want a more RPG experience where the thousands of hours you've put into the game are going to make a difference, then that's what the Dark Zone is for. And the Dark Zone is less about fairness and much more about who's the strongest. So this is the differentiation we wanted to make, and with that in mind, we still really think that it's important to take shade levels and expertise out of the equation, because these are stats that are basically just increased by your playtime and the efforts you've put into the game. They are optimization stats
ダークゾーンは
that we
フェア
think
じゃないから
do not
そ
belong
こ
in
もなんか
conflict.
変えるっつってるね。なんか侵略の
But
ところをいじるみたいなことを言ってましたよね。
that being said,
侵
we're
略以
still
外か。
open to feedback. since these changes were only tested during PTS phases and
With the
as-
PC community. Yeah.
yes, and we know that it's only available to PC players. So please keep your feedback coming. It's still very important, and as you noticed with the example of the combat Gearlock, even strongest opinions can be overruled by having enough feedback from the community.
Well, it's, and I mean, I don't want to make it sound like if you scream loud enough, we're going to change. But it's, you know, it's, we want to see it in action, and we want to see how people interact with it, and we want to see the conversation online between people and see the pros and cons and what
なるほどね。
the vast majority of
なん
people
かも
think.
もっとこういろんな
uh,
変化を見たいっつ
so yeah,
こう変化
we
つか
put it
ユー
out
ザー
there,
間でのやり
and,
取りを見たいみたいな感じ
and
になっ
of
てる
course, you know, as
もう十分やっ
everything
た
is
ろ
a
5年やってんだぞ
nothing is ever set in stone. We can always keep tweaking and keep modifying in future updates. And with conflict, we will keep working on it and improving it anyway. So yeah, we are not going to just
でもコンフリに手こ入れしてくれるのは結構嬉しいかな
there's more things we need to look at.
But that's also the gist of the project resolve. Like, it's not a singular update that happened once and it will never be touched again.
Yep.
No, it's like a continuation. It's a process. And there are going to be changes and adjustments following this release as well. And of course, we're going to keep you informed and as much as we can. Talking about other changes, because I think we cover pretty much everything conflict-wise. There is also Dark Zone that I would love to mention. For the Dark Zone, there were feedback and discussions regarding the rogue activation timer, and it was also changed. Now it's going to be 3 seconds.
ああ3秒で5秒は長すぎたっつってたもんね
Yeah, so this is the
ローグタイマ
the
ーが
sweet
ローグ
spot
になる
we
までの時
think
間
we've,
が
we've
3秒
landed on with the PTS. And the idea here again is to, I said earlier, the dark zone is not about fairness, but we still want to make sure that you know, players have an opportunity to react when someone is going rogue, and that is just for non-invaded dark zone, by the way. For invaded dark zone, the timer remains at 0.75 as it is. So it's also bringing some differentiation between invaded and non-invaded. So if you're really after the tough, hardcore dark zone experience, invaded is probably more for you. But we wanted to give a bit more of a chance to react, and we don't want. It's not that we don't want players to go rogue in the dark zone. It's just we want that to be a strategic decision you make. So you need to, you know, to commit and to really. It can't be just something on a just in the moment. It's something you need to find a space. You activate your rogue timer and then you come out again and now
なん
you're
か
rogue.
ローグとかをやりたくない人
Once
のため
again,
に
we'll
なんか
see
や
how
るっ
that
つってね
how that plays out on
のための
on the
改
game,
善
and,
だよって言ってる
and
のか
we'll
な
adjust if needed. But yeah, we're pretty happy with this one.
And another thing to quickly mention that also the first rogue rank duration was increased from 20 to 30 seconds in alignment with the
だから
previous.
3秒なるまでに3秒で、
Yeah.
最初のロックタイムが20秒じゃなくて
Well,
30秒になるってやつだよね
expertise. No changes here. Just to summarize everything and quickly mentioned the initial idea behind expertise changes. The costs were lowered to make it more accessible, and the feedback was good, but that's what people wanted for a long time, I guess.
It's less grindy, it's faster to progress through levels, so what's not to like here? It's yeah, we just wanted to make expertise a bit more accessible for more
いいね
players and make it less of a
最適化だよね多分
less of a boring grind
最
to
適
be
化
honest,
の
to like
必
get
要
on
条件
battles
が
to try to
下がっ
reach the
た
max.
ね
It's,
エキゾチック42個で済むんだもんね
accessible
全然いいじゃん
And before we move to
めちゃくちゃいいね
one of the new features, I just wanted
だから
to
なんか最適化とかするんだったらみんな明日からやれ
if
ばいい
you
ね
have any questions,
明日のメンテ終わってからだね
please leave them in the chat. They will be collected by our community managers for me and Yannick to answer live once we are done showing all
め
the
ちゃくちゃいいじゃない
changes.
ですか
So that's your chance to ask a question.
そう、マイスターがごめん、最適化っつってた。マイスターね。ごめん
And
ごめんごめん。
next thing that it's not really in connection to expertise, but also in connection, Kinda, as the new feature that we talked about a lot. It is called tinkering. It was not on the PTS due to some technical issues, but we want to show you how it works and explain why this change was needed and what can be done with tinkering. And I know that we have a gameplay video for you to see.
うん
And the most fun stuff about tinkering,
ああ、
first
そ
of
っ
all,
か
is
そっか。
the
ステーションにアクセスできるよう
localization
にするよって言ってたやつだよね。
formally that has been reworked and received a new flow, a new UI.
これいいよね
And。the most amazing thing that it can be done on the go.
再調整ステーションもどっからでも
Where you
アクセ
are
スで
on
き
the
るの
map,
めちゃく
what
ちゃいい
sort
よ
of
ね。これは
activities
めちゃくちゃあり
you're
がたい
engaged
ね。
in. You do not need to go back to the base of operations. It's available to you almost everywhere.
Yeah, I think the idea was really that like
だ拾ったのをそのままできるし、
try to
拾ったのをその
reduce
ま
the
ま
amount of times you
もう
have to go back to the base of operation.
そこに
and really
送
have
っ
these
て
two. There's almost two division games. You know, there's the game where you're in the action and you're
便
you're
利よ
playing
ね。
the shooter
絶対
game.
便利になりますね。
And then there's the inventory management game,
拾っ
but it's just
たのを
equally as
その
long,
ま
if
ま
not longer.
も
Where
う
you're
ジャ
in
ン
the,
ク
in the
登
base
録
of
してマイスター
operations,
に
going
突っ込
through
む
your
ってことも
loot
できる
and。like looking at okay, what can I optimize, what can I recalibrate, what do I keep, what do I not keep, and I mean not all of that is solved. But one big aspect of that was the recalibration and the optimization. And we felt that this is something that maybe belonged a bit more in the action part. And the idea is just, it's, you know, if you're dropping a piece of loot during a mission or while playing anything, that is almost an upgrade. All you would need is to optimize it or to recalibrate it, and it would be an upgrade. Why not be able to do that directly and then go back into the action with your upgraded loot? Why have you, wait until the next time you're going to
お、
back to
友
the
達
base
さ
of
ん、こん
operation?
ばん、こんばん
So
は。
with tinkering, we not only improved the flow, but also made it, yes, available directly through the inventory, and you can do it on the go, you can do it wherever you want, you can still go to the station, as in this video, you can still go to the station to do it, but you have the exact same functionality directly
いいね。
from
ステーションに行かなくてもできるようになる。再調整
And the
とか
great thing
で
is
きる
that
よう
you
になる
can
ぜっつってるの。
not
いい
only
っすね。
open the
これが一番
tinkering
でかいね。
station from your inventory, but you can also, and we don't see that in the video, but you can actually also directly from any item in your inventory, you can recalibrate it and optimize it without having to go through the tinkering screen, which is probably the best improvement we have
もう
here. And I
唯一
don't
こ
know
の
if a lot of
変
people
更が
notice
一
that.
番でかいね。
But you can, while you're changing your equipment, you're in your backpacks, you want to change your backpack, you can directly
あ、
recalibrate
ス
or
タビライ
optimize
ズ
this
はさ、
backpack
変
from
更
the
したっ
screen.
て
You
最初
don't
書いてな
have
か
to
っ
go
た
through the
?PVP
tinkering
コンフリ
screen
ク
to
ト
do
とか
that.
の変更のする
So
や
it's
つ
gonna
の
be
下
a
に書いてあ
huge
った気
gain
が
of,
するよ。
time for
スタビライズをなんかうまいことやる
And
みた
the
いな。
only difference in the functionality is going to be that when nothing is highlighted, the new button just going to open the menu itself. But when you have a specific item selected, it's going to open tinkering features for this specific highlighted item.
So yeah, it's reusing the existing mechanics, but just making it much more accessible and much more friendly to use. So I'm just excited to go in my inventory and look at it and start optimizing more things and recalibrating more things. This also includes the expertise, by the way, even though we didn't mention that, but that also allows you to donate items and to increase expertise on items from the inventory as well, or from the tinkering screen in the inventory as well. So you don't have to go back to the boo either for that.
Yeah, because it also has the recalibration library and expertise menus available on the go.
Yep.
And there were also a few changes for the global events, and we
グローバルイベントで変更がいっぱいあるって。あったね。そうだね。結構変更あるって言ってましたもんね。そういえばそうだね。やりやすくなった変更が多いですよね。グローバルイベントは。
global events on a separated environment, but we prepared a small video to highlight some of the gameplay changes. Some of them more visible than others, but we will walk you through them.
It's not always easy to convey fun through a
Guardians.
gameplay video on global events. So apologies if some of them do not do a great job at at showing the changes.
Guardians
But
よりも
basically,
ダメー
so
ジが
here we
入
have
るようになるん
Guardian.
だよ
So
ね。
one of the big change we've made with Guardian is that now you actually can damage NPCs that are guarded.
そうね。
but
ガー
you're
ディアン
just
さ、
going to,
ノ
you
ー
know,
ダ
do
メージじゃな
much
くなっ
less
たね。
damage.
ダメージが
But if
効
you have
き
this
づらくなっ
rusher
た
that
だ
is
けで。
coming your way and that rusher is
これ
protected
は
by
一
a
番いいよね。
Guardian,
ガーディアンマジしん
you
どかった
will
もん。
be able to take it down, which was one of the biggest, frustration with Guardian until now was that you had to take the Guardian out before you could kill the rusher. Now you can take care of the most important threat first and then go after the Guardian. It's just going to take you a bit more time. And then after that, I think we've increased the bonus. We've made a few changes here and there to try to make it more fun and more rewarding. And that's been the general gist with those global events. And what we've been trying to achieve is just make it more fun when you actually play it right and less punishing when you don't play it right. Because obviously our benchmark was Golden Bullet, which we know is by far the most popular global event. But it is popular because it's very straightforward. It's like, shoot the right NPC and then you get a buff and then you're just going to, be godlike for the duration of the buff. And we wanted the other global events to be a bit more on par with that philosophy of like, just do the thing and then have fun. If you do it wrong, it's fine. Try again and have fun. No reason to punish you.
ハリウッド。
So for Hollywood,
あれだ、
Yeah,
爆破ダメージが。
explosion.
Yeah, Hollywood is just bigger explosions because that's what it's about.
そうだよね。
And also
でかい
the
エク
big
スプロー
change
ジョ
we've
ンっつっ
made
て
is
るから
because it
爆
is
発がでかく
a
なる。
global event that
3
is
倍
about
ぐらいになるんだよね。
explosions and
確か。
about your signature weapon. That's actually the global event where you should be able to play your signature weapon the most.
グレポン祭りできる
We've
よ。
we've made it now so when you're killing NPCs, you can drop signature ammo directly on your location, so you don't have to go there. It's much more generous in signature weapon ammo as well. So it's really the one where when you play it right, you should be able to keep your signature weapon up for a much longer duration. So it's really the Rampage global event where you're just dealing explosions and using grenade launchers or flamethrowers or whatever from all directions. And
問題はこのテストプレイでやってるエージェントが下手すぎることで。見せなきゃいけない爆発が1回しか見せられてない。
Next one is what gonna be.
We'll wait for the
Let's find out.
reveal. Polarity switch.
Polarity switch.
Yay.
曲線スイッチか。
Yeah, so polarity switch is there's two things we wanted to do, and this one was one of the examples of a global event that can be punishing when you do it wrong. Because here it was, you have to respect the polarity of the NPCs, but if you shoot the wrong NPC, you lose your buff, and that can be punishing really fast, or not punishing, but at least frustrating because your polarity changes when you reload, and so you're not always in control of what polarity you have, and you think you have the right one and you have the wrong. So now we've made two drastic changes with it. The first one is that you only lose stacks when you kill an NPC of the wrong polarity, not when you shoot it. So it's much more forgiving. You hopefully will notice before the NPC is dead.
まあダ
And
メ
the
ージが
second
下が
one
る
is
とこは
that
変わっ
when
て
you're
ないね。
killing NPCs of the right
そう、
polarity,
テストプレイヤー
we
が
are
下手なんだ
refilling,
よ。
I can't remember if it's all or part of your magazine. But the idea is that, especially taking the reload out of the equation, which was one of the main issues that kind of took you out of the flow when you were playing polarity switch. Was like, I'm in a good flow, I'm in yellow, and I'm killing yellow NPCs. But now I need to reload, now I'm blue.
強
But
さを見せなき
I
ゃい
was
けないの
preparing
に、ず
for
っと
this.
ハンターズメメントの装
So
備つ
now
けてる
it's,
し。
hopefully the flow is just going to feel a bit more natural and a bit more fun.
And also the stacks were lowered from 5
Mm.
to 4, and the bonus per stack was increased to 25% from 20.
So actually stacks are more powerful and it's going to be easier to reach max stacks. So it's also going to feel a bit more snappy.
What's next? It's like a chocolate box.
エクスポー
Shade
ズ。
exposed.
Shade exposed, yeah. So with shade exposed, it's just tweaking and fidgeting with the buff to try to make it more efficient, to try to keep the
楽しいよ
uptime
ね、
run a
結
bit
構。
longer, to try to really focus on the fun of the gameplay, the cover-to-cover mechanic, applying the pulse to everyone, and really feeling like when NPCs are pulsed, you
これなんだ、広がる範囲が
get
広くなったんだっけ
to do all
確
the
か。
fun stuff. So it's no drastic changes, but just more efficient and a bit more fun.
Yeah, the pulse radius was increased, and now you only take 65% damage compared to 150% that was before if you hit the pulsed enemies.
Yep.
And the last one.
finally
Reanimated.
Reanimated. Yeah, Reanimated is just what did we do with this one? I think we increased the explosion or the smoke when you
本当に下手だ
when you
な
headshot
テストプレイヤー
enemies.
がテスト
And
エ
I
ージェ
think
ント
then
が
we've
本
increased
当に下手だ
the
よ
bonuses you get from that
From the
from
headshots,
the headshots. So same, just I almost want to say more dumb, but in a good way. Click on heads, have fun. I don't know that we're going to see a headshot here. Probably not.
こういうテスト
It
プ
was
レイヤ
already
ーだけ
done,
で
but we
さ
covered it. But
テス
I
ト
mean,
してさ
mm,
あの
it's up
なんか
up
データ
to
取ってると思う
all
と
of us
震えますよ
to
ね
play and try the new global events now with the new mechanics. Not really new, it's just upgraded, reinvented.
Yeah, and we can always tweak them even more, but it's yeah. Hopefully they are going to make seeing other global events a bit less of like here comes the shot, here comes the headshot, nice. Yeah, it's it's just going to
蘇
be
生ね
yeah to just seeing other global events come feel a bit more exciting.
And the next thing we know, people are going to be asking for, I don't know, reanimated. And not the.
No, people are going to be asking for a buff of golden bullet at this rate.
You said it yourself.
Not gonna happen.
Two more positive news. I promise that we're gonna go back to Descent because there are a few other things that we need to cover besides the new
Descent
exotic gun
ね
indicator that's going to be available exclusively in
ちょっ
Descent.
とエキ
But
ゾ
once again,
の
one-
プ
if you
ー
have it,
ル
you can
性
use
がちょっ
it
とあんま好きじゃないんだよ
anywhere
な
But yeah, a few other things that we need to highlight, and I lost the card, but we'll just recite them from memory. Yeah.
Take my card. You lead.
First of all, talent pool rotation. That is also another thing that we received a lot of helpful feedback on during the PTS phases, and was decided to shorten the rotation from originally it was supposed to be a week. Now it's going to be only 3 days. So every 3 days you're
3 日
going to
で
have
ロー
an
テーションするのかな
talents pool, and
プールは
pool is going to consist of 35 talents and 6 exotic talents each. Pool.
Cool.
Cool. I don't know. Maybe you wanted to comment.
No, but it's I know that some people had thoughts on the idea of the talent rotation, but it's what we're trying to fight here is just that every season we're adding more talents and it's getting harder and harder in Descent to actually get what you want. So we want something that's a bit more curated around specific play styles. And we know that the current, the existing curation of talents in the pools we have is not necessarily the most popular for everyone. So we'll see. And that's something that can live over time, and that's going to organically grow and change depending on feedback. So if some talents we find out don't really work in this pool, they can go in another pool, and we can tweak them. So all of that can be improved. Now we have a full, UI support that really displays everything, and so you really understand what's going on. And overall, all of that should help with making Descent a bit easier to get into and to get what you want and to reach a level of power that makes the experience satisfying and makes you ready to go face the Nemesis, which you will face faster because of the changes we've made as well. So yeah, it should just make Descent a bit more streamlined in a way.
Yeah, talking about Nemesis, the minimal requirement for the loop is loop 4 now, and the maximum is 9. So you can reach Nemesis faster, but then again, as it is with Descent, reaching Nemesis faster is a really good thing or not?
It's your choice.
It's depends also on the options that you're gonna have. Another thing that we need to mention, and now we're going to have 4 new outfits also available through Descent with 4 different color variations. I also know that a lot of people like them during the PTS. Outfits, it's always great. Plus added exotic named and reconstructed caches in the NCA tech store. That is not what some of the players were asking about following the PTS, but this is another thing that you can find information in the dev commentary and regarding the potential prices.
Ah.
I don't know, do we want to comment on it?
I'm not sure what you're talking about, so.
Okay, let's just skip it then. Just a brain fart. It happens. And also decrease the requirements for rewards from 1 to 5 loops, and you will be able to receive more loot caches and rewards for completing the same number of loops as before.
So again, it's just going to be it's going to be a bit faster. It's going to be rewarding. There's more things in the store then that is or in the shop that is connected to Descent. Yes, some of the prices might be might be debated, and but yeah, we have more options now. And once again, we'll look at the economy of it and we'll make adjustments if needed.
Yeah, I'm just going to remind about the changes that were made previously that you also can find on the Trello board
インディ
regarding
ケーターは
the
いずれ変えるとは言ってるけ
percentage
ど、
chance
どうすんだろうね、
dropping
結局。
specific caches and also Nemesis cache that is now
ああ、
much
ネメシス
easier
の
to
キャッシュで
obtain
出る
than
ように
was
するって
before
言ってるの
because
かな
it's
いず
50%
れ。
chance. But yeah, there is the Vindicator again. Looks cool, only available in Descent. Not gonna be dropping anywhere else anytime soon. But the price is very affordable, and
It's predictable. That's the most important thing, because you can get it on the shop
Oh.
as well. So it's the good thing with this is it doesn't have to be a very low drop rate, and you have to grind the mode and again and again and again for 8 chance to get it. There is a predictable path to it. So you just you get the currency and you can save up to eventually purchasing it. So if you really want it, you can be confident you will be able to buy it eventually.
I think that's pretty much it for Descent regarding project resolve changes. But we still have a few more quality of life updates that I would love to highlight.
Oh.
And
何をし
we'll
ているんだ
probably
い
start with
QOL は。
the skill modes because there is a new system, duplicate removal
Yep.
for skill modes. So do you want
Yeah. So the idea with skill modes, and that's one step in that direction also of trying to make inventory management a bit less cumbersome. But with skill mods, what we've decided to do is that you can only have one copy of each bonus. And so now when you drop a new mod that has a better roll on that same bonus, it's just going to upgrade the one you have in your inventory and auto-deconstruct and everything. So basically what that means is that you no longer need to hold on to 3 copies of the same bonus and then go back in your inventory and be like, wait, which one is the best? But which one do we have equipped and what's going on here? The game is going to do all of that for you. So you just need to go hunt for better versions. But then once you find them, it's all going to be updated automatically. So it's going to be a much smoother experience with less unnecessary inventory management.
Yeah, and the construction is also going to be automated, and you're going to receive the printer filament automatically, depending on basically the skill mode that was deconstructed. But that's not it. There was also an update made to Stash, and we have a video to show. Basically now you will be able to see the item count of the stash displayed when approaching it, so you do not really need to assess it and open it to know how many slots you have left.
It's a small touch, but it helps. So you just as you walk to it, you get a direct indication of how full it is and what's in there. So these are the small things that when you add all of them on top of each other, it just makes the experience a bit like removes some of the friction of the experience. So isolated, maybe not a huge change, but it's a nice touch.
No, or when you're passing by, for example, and just catch a glimpse of it. Also a
増
good
や
thing
せ
to
よ
have.
な、
Yep.
装備箱。
One last feature that I wanted to highlight, and I
装備
think
いっ
that
ぱい増やせるのに
for,
箱
the
増やさねえじゃん、
very
一生。
there is going to be a new vendor added, not starting from tomorrow. It's going to be also 20.1, and this is a textile vendor. His name
Finally,
is Danny Beaver.
Yeah, and so this is finally a vendor that's going to sell you stuff for
Oh.
textiles. So it's for those players, those of you, you know who you are, who are sitting on a lot of
テキスタイルの
textiles
使い
and have
道が
nothing
増
to
えた
spend
ね。
it on. And we want to make textiles a
テ
bit
キ
more
スタイル
interesting.
がいい使い道あるじゃない
So
か。
now you will have this vendor that you will need to locate in a similar way to the way you need to locate Cassie Mendoza. He's called Danny Weaver, and as you can see, you can buy caches for textiles. Those caches are on a limited
いいね。
stock, so you cannot buy an infinite amount of them. You will be only able to buy a certain amount per rotation. So don't go out there expecting you're going to be able to spend hundreds of thousands on unlimited exotic caches. There is
テキスタイ
there
ル
is
の
some
使い道
limitations
ができて
here,
るの
but at
がいいん
least
じゃない
over
テ
time,
キ
you
ス
know,
タイル
that
って俺
becomes
そ
one
ん
of
で
those
も言うて持ってなかった気がするん
things
だ
you
よ
do on a regular basis of going to check the stock of that vendor.
テキス
buy
タイル
the cache,
8000ポイントあ
and
る
then
わ。
come back next time.
お
Yeah,
い
this
いね。
specific vendor would not be shown in the patch notes for tomorrow since it's 20.1. But once we are there, we'll update information about the rotation and all the stuff that you can get from Danny Beaver. I just love that his surname is Beaver. Very on brand.
Sometimes we're just incredibly creative.
What was it, Lauren, who came up with the idea of just hello, Lauren. That's almost it. A few other
いいね。
things that I want to mention before we move to
ようやくそうだね。
answering
よ
your
うやくテキス
questions.
タイルの役目が出たね。
Just a few quick things. With the project resolve, we also added a few new commendations for the Paradise Lost incursion. All the details you will be able to find in the patch notes after the live stream. So don't miss it. It's going to be on our website and all the social media, the usual stuff.
Just one comment on this is just that, okay, it's commendations on the incursion and what's the big deal. And the big deal is that we can do commendations again. We relearned how to do that. And I know that some of the new commendation hunters have been asking for that for a while, and we've released a bunch of content with the game without commendations. So we're going to try to, retroactively start adding commendations to content we've released. But you can, hopefully you can expect that moving forward with new TUs, new commendations are going to be added, and this is going to be a thing again.
Yay, new patches. Fun. Another thing about the projects, also that is something that we talked about a lot during the previous live stream, but there was one change made since then, and in the reward pool, you're going to have one exotic component for daily projects and 3 exotic components for weekly projects. All of the stuff remains unchanged. The full details in the patch notes.
そうだね。なんかプロジェクトも変えるって言ってたもんね。ウィークリープロジェクトも。
since there were a lot of balancing changes made, and that's not something that we covered specifically in this live stream, but status effects, talents, weapons, gear sets, some of them underwent a lot of changes, and in response to this, we decided to wipe out the leaderboards. There are a lot of them.
Not all of them, but a lot of
A
them.
lot of them, yes, and some that I need to mention: the Keenly College, Strongholds, Raids, Standard and Invaded Solomon Group. We do not have the full list
タイトルベースを増やすって
yet.
言ってたもんね。
It's just for the general information, but
Yeah, it's just some of them are here since the launch of the game and have never really been purged. So we felt that with Project Resolve it was time to actually do a wipe on them and start fresh to really try to highlight the performances of our current players and remove the pollution we've had from the past with some of the abuse and exploits and even not necessarily pollution, but even old achievements that have been made by people who no longer play the game. So we thought it made sense to wipe a lot of the leaderboards in the game. And again, we'll get the full list and give that to you so you can see which ones are and which ones are not. We're trying to be respectful of some of the best achievements like raid leaderboards and this kind of stuff. But yeah, like mission ones and like specific activities will be wiped. And that's something that we can consider moving forward potentially, to do that on a more regular basis as well, to make sure that we keep the leaderboards actually up to date with the players that play the game today. And if you didn't make it this time, maybe next rotation you will have a chance to top it.
Yeah, thank you so much for the clarification. And now it's time to move on to some of the questions that we received in the chat. If you still want to ask a question, there is your chance. Community managers are updating the Q&A list for us to look at, but we'll start with what we have right now. I'm just gonna do that very carefully. Probably not. And the first question is about leaderboards. Is there any chance we can get new leaderboards, like the year 1 board for Dark Hours?
I mean, new leaderboards, yes, we could potentially add them. The thing is, you know, they were pretty much left as an afterthought because we were not maintaining them and purging them. So now that we are starting to, I mean, we are doing a wipe now, and we will see how that's received and how that helps with the game, and and how all of you will engage with that. But moving forward, that's our intention, to make the leaderboard game a bit more fresh and a bit more interesting. So, adding new ones is not off the table either.
Will the recruiter outfit return? I think that's something that we confirmed online, but I'm going to repeat it for everyone to hear. Not anytime soon, but this is not off the table. So there is a possibility.
One day.
One day.
Maybe. When the Vindicator will be available in other sources as well. No, but yes, I mean, it might, but it's, we're going to give it some time before it comes back.
That looks so good. Are you able to obtain the new rifle in the open world after you bought it from the Descent vendor?
That's a good question, but I do not think so. I think it's you can only get it through Descent, even if you want multiple copies of it. If I'm wrong, I will correct that publicly after talking to the team, but I'm pretty sure it is only Descent. Any chance of update to the legacy cache? I have 3 keys for it, but I cannot use. Yeah, I mean, the keys will give you textiles now, at least. Is that the legacy cache? Wait, I'm confused which one is the legacy cache now. So yeah, I need to get my thoughts together, and then I will tell you. Will we be able to select any grenade type? Well, they're still tied for now. That's something that maybe we want to do in the future, but now they're still tied to your specializations. Other plans are there? Sorry, I'm going through all of them, but you stop me.
Other plans to add a difficulty over heroic for the open world?
Not at the moment. We're not going to put legendary on the open world because legendary is well, there's 2 things with legendary. One, it's only one faction. Only the Black Tusk exists in legendary difficulty. And 2, legendary difficulty, it is handcrafted. It is not just a setting that we change on a mission. There's actually some work that is done on it. So it's not something we can just trigger for the open world. So not legendary, but new difficulty anyway. This is not the plan at the moment, no.
Are we getting the option to reroll exotic 3rd attributes and scaling the open world boxes to global level?
Yes, yeah.
To both questions.
This was part of the Project Resolve, and this was part of the PTS, and yes, it's going to make it to TU20, so you will be able to reroll the 3rd attribute of the exotics, and yes, the open world boxes in the world will be updating with the world difficulty setting. One thing that I just want to mention, to go back on the previous question about adding new difficulty, I know that there's a conversation about us about the power creep and about players becoming more powerful, and therefore the lack of challenging content. And I just want you to know that this is something we're conscious of, and we have some ideas. But yeah, more on that in the future.
Any more legendary missions coming?
Not at the moment, because we're only doing strongholds in legendary, and we've done all of them now. So adding legendary to main missions is not something we have planned just yet. But once again, I think that goes in the bucket of what are we going to do to offer more challenging content to the players that have, full optimized gear, and this is something that's on our mind already.
This one about the new skill modes.
Does this mean we won't be able to share mods with teammates now, since mods get auto-used when they drop? Yeah, probably. Now that you mention it, probably. Maybe the team has thought of that, I'm not sure. But yes, that might be a compromise and a side effect that comes with these changes, that you may not be able to share them with your teammates now.
What about old blueprints from previous seasons? Because a lot of players started playing the game recently. That's actually what Descent is for.
Well, Descent has named blueprints, but in general, I mean, we have added a bunch of them to the loot pools already. It could be that we are still missing some, but the intention is that they should become available through the blueprint loot pools. So if we missed some, just let us know, and we will be looking at it. But the intention is that blueprints become available, old season blueprints become available in the blueprint loot pools.
How many seed credits will the reconstructed caches cost in Descent? I honestly do not remember.
I do not have the number in mind. We will need to get back to you on that one.
Let's see if we have other questions. I honestly do not see anything.
Nope.
One last chance. Counting 2, 3.
I'm sure there's more questions, and poor CMs in chat are like, wait, no. But again, I mean, as usual, if there are more questions, you know where to find us, and everything will be clearer tomorrow when the update comes out. Well, fingers crossed it's a smooth launch.
いや、この辺は本当に何言ってんかわからないから、
If
マ
there
ジ
are
で
more
しんどい
questions,
わ。
we will be here to answer them.
Yeah, so I guess we're done. The monitor turned off.
Yeah, our feedback monitor turned off, so we have no idea what's going on screen. So hopefully you can still see us.
Or at least hear us. But we thank you for sticking with us and listening to the live stream.
あれ終わった
Thank you so much.
Thank you, George, for coming and turning on the screen, trying to be discreet and not be on camera.
終わりかな
Here we are.
It works. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. It was a pleasure once again to talk through all the changes and highlight them. The team made a tremendous job making sure that all these changes come to life. So huge kudos to everyone in Bucharest and
まあとりあえず明日ですね。明日のメンテがあった後に新シーズンは始まるというわけみたいですね。
Mumbling. But yeah,
it's hard because we already talked about all of that. So it's like, it's cool because it's coming and I'm excited, but actually, season 3 and tier 20 and Vanguard, whatever we call this thing, and Project Resolve, all of that is coming out tomorrow. So that's it's great that it's finally out there, and I can't wait to play the game myself and see how everybody also is going to react to that. But it's also hard to do another stream and talk about it because we've had that already. So I hope that we still had the energy. It didn't sound too much like a repeat. But yeah, I'm really excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, likewise. And yeah, thank you so much again. We're gonna watch the new trailer for the season 3 Vanguard, and I guess see you in Washington DC. And thank you.
Thank you.
OK。最後 PV 見て終わりましょうか。
I trust Kelso. I don't believe she could be a hunter. But trust has to be earned. When we put it in the wrong people. Just look at what's happened to this country. Agents were trained to blend in, to hide in plain sight. How can we know their true mission? We can't survive without trust. I trust Kelso. But I've been wrong before.
OK。終わりかな。はい。お疲れ様でございました。とりあえず、じゃあ、ブラウザのこれは切っちゃって。OK。ひなが言ってたことはここな、そうかもしれないね。とんでもないことが起こるってやつでしょ？それはね、ここかもしれないですね。うん、まあ、もう一回名前を出してくるってことは多分そういうことだと思いますんで、まあ多分そうなんじゃないかなと思いますね。というわけでお疲れ様でございました。まあ、とりあえず、まあ、あれですね。明日、メンテ後にやるっていう感じっぽかったので、ちょっと最後に修正が起こると言われてるコンフリクトに行ってみましょうか。せっかくなんで。ここも上げて。よっしゃ、行くぞ。コンフリクトマッチングすればいいけどね。録画も切って。そう、明日っすね。明日っつうかもう今日か？日にちで言うと今日になるのかな？いやー、楽しみですね。あれだったね、地味に、あれがいましたね。ベニテスがいたのかな？さあ、行くぞー。修正が入っちゃうコンフリクトに今のうちに言っておきましょう。ボロクソに負けてもそれはしょうがない。敵が強いからしょうがない、それは。そうだね、メンテ6時間かかる場合もあるからね、全然。うわぁ、めんどくせえな。あんま森がいたな、今。そうだね。6時間どころじゃなかったんだっけ？前回のクソな、前々回かなのクソ長メンテナンスの時は。修正が入っちゃう前に言っときましょうか、一回。ちょっとね、ノーエイム粘膜を練習してるからさ。しゃあ行こう。やっとベニーボーヤに会えるのか。そうだね。ノイベニテス、役目があったけどなかったからね。あれこれ下だな。あ、上一人来てるね。ほい。見えてるぞ。ストライカーバフ食べとこ。ストライカーバフ溜まってるぜ。味方が一人固まってるぜ。お、ナイス。味方一人固まってるぞ、これ。大丈夫か？あれ、そこいない？あ、くそ。射程外。そこいるのか？ よし、最悪。
外傷を検知。
ショッカーパンチ。
エージェント行動不能。エージェント性愛反応ゼロ。
やばいやばい、崩しちまったな。
エージェントダウン。
一気に崩れるよな、一回一人崩れると。アポカリプス生きてるな、大丈夫かあれ。まあダメだろうね
エージェントが助けを求めています。
これは行かない方がいいな、多分。やめよう。味方が誰も来てない。ああ、そこにいたね、今。そこにいるわ。
ブースト起動間近。
こっちは誰もいないね。
ブーストオンライン。
うお、
ブーストが敵に奪われました。
うわ、最悪、ブーストだよ。
ダウン。敵がブーストを入手しました。システム抑制。
ブーストついてましたね。
重度の外傷を検知。エージェントが行動不能です。エージェント死亡。
ポールじゃなくて、ベニテスかな。ロイ・ベニテスじゃなかったっけ、名前。あー、やばいね。どうしようか。
エージェントが
ちょっ
助けを
と、
求めています。
オッケーオッケー。いつも通り行こう。ここは、冷静に行こう。ベニテス？ローズはだってローズでしょ？
エージェントダウン。
くそー、見えん。
ローグのディフェンダードローンを
トラウマ使ってたね。
生体信号危険領域。
最悪だよ。何にもできてない
エージェン。トが行動不能です。エージェント死亡。
何にもできてないまま終わっちゃうよ、このままだと。3回、ただ3回死んだだけだ。それはちょっとマジでやめたい。トマトが今そこに生きてるってこと。お、スキャンされてる。左、そっちだな、全部。ああ、トマトのスキルだな、これは。オッケー、ディスラプター使ったな、今ので。
エージェントが助けを求めていう
まい
ます。、
ナイスナイス。
特殊サプライドロップを送っておいたわ
あれ、今そこにいるよね。ああ、最悪。
エージェントダウン。
うわあ、最悪だ。失敗してる。こっち。あれ、味方今そこにいる。あれあれ、そこいるよね。あれ、やっぱそこいるな。あ、降りたのか。ナイス味方。
敵がサプライドロップを奪ってるわ。
いや、これは
特殊サプライドロップは敵の手に渡った。
アンブラの回復力でなんとかなる。
折り返し地点よ。
ナイスナイス。いやー、嘘。
生体信号危険
あー、こっちいたのか。突っ込みすぎた。
エージェント行動不能。エージェントが死亡。ローグのディフェンダードローンを検知。ローグのディフェンダードローンを検知。
こっから追い返せるかな。まあ純粋に俺がちゃんと働いて死ななければ全然いいことなんだけどね。そこか。
ブーストオンライン間近。
後ろは警戒しないとまずいからな。
ブーストアクティブ。
ブーストはいやー、これ敵取られるんじゃない？こっから見える？見えないね。
敵がブーストを確保。
そうだよね。
敵がブーストを確保。
今のノーエイム粘爆完璧じゃなかった？今の粘爆完璧じゃなかった。練習の成果出てたわ、今のは。あそこにいるね。しゃー。おお、そこいる。
ローグのディフェンダードローンを検知。ローグのディフェンダードローンを検知。ローグのアーティレリータレットを検知。ローグのアーティレリータレットを検知。
はい、服使ったな。ナイスナイスナイス。
エージェントが助けを求めています。
おお、危ね。最悪。
エージェントダウン。生体信号危険領域。
でもそっから分けるはず。そっから分けるはずだ。
エージェント行動不能。エージェント性愛反応。
よっしゃ、行くぞ。
サプライドロップが敵に奪われてるわ。特殊サプライドロップが敵に取られた。
そこいない？
エージェントが助けを求めています。
なんでこっちで湧いた？最悪。うわー、負けた。
シールドの外傷を検知。エージェント行動不能。
マジか。
エージェント性愛反応ゼロ。エージェントダウン。
回られてたのか。
ブースト起動間近。
まあでもなんかノーエイム粘爆がうまいこと成功したのは良かったけど。
もうすぐ終わりよ。
ブーストオンライン。
あれ結構うまくいったんだよな、あの
ブーストが
ノーエイム
敵に
粘爆。
奪われました。
いや、撃ってからね、狙うっていう癖がなかなかできなくて、ちょっと撃ってから狙うっていう癖をね、ちゃんとつけるようにしたんですよ。 ケルティウスさんとめちゃくちゃ練習してできるようにしたんで。精度上がった？ありがとう。頑張ったんだ。頑張ったけどこの結果だよ。でも一応今んとこ1位だからいっかと思って。敵もなんかスキルそんな強くなかったんだけどな。タイムアップだねこれは。負けです。
あなたの負けよ。
いやーいい精度だった。撃った瞬間によろけてる間に撃つっていう練習をケリティフさんと死ぬほどやったんですよ。で30分ぐらいずっとダークゾーンでお互いに粘着爆弾をローグになって撃ちまくるっていう練習をしまくりましたね。で撃った瞬間にちゃんと ADS をしてよろけてる間でもエイム狙えるっていう癖をつけるようにしました。だちょっとね精度は確かにちょっと上がった。やべバグったかな、動かなくなっちゃったかな。本当ありがとう。これ毎回あるんだよね。あ、オッケーオッケーオッケー。あ、そうだ。誰かがね、接続切るとこうなっちゃう。誰かが接続切ると最後のやつがめちゃくちゃ長くなっちゃう。まあ負けましたね。負けたけど、まあ倒せた。ある程度倒せたからいいでしょう。試合には負けてるけど、全体で見るとキル数は2位だからね。悪くない。もうちょっとこう、立ち回りというか、その辺をうまく学びたかったけど、でも悪くはないね。ストライカー強いなぁ、本当に。最近流行ってるというか、やってるんですけど、アンブラを使ってるんですよ、ずっと。アンブラが結構強くて、ストライカーのバフとかを溜め切る前に倒せるかなっていうのを考えて、今アンブラ使ってるんですよね。アンブラにビジランスをくっつけてるんですけど。まあ、それでやってるけどもって感じかな。もうちょっとこう、やりたいんだけど。まあほら、なんかこのゲームってさ、VP やりたがらない人多いじゃん、なんか知らんけど。なんか知らないけど VP 絶対やらないマンが結構いるからさ。まあちょっとそういう人のために俺はやろうかと思ってるよ。なんかあと、あれなんですよね。録画した後に見返すと結構ね、見えてないとこが多かったりするんですよね。だ結構 VP やってる配信を見る人って結構こうあの時はあそこ見えるじゃんって思うかもしれないですけど、実際自分でやるとね、全然見えないんですよ、これ。なんで、あれですね。VP やってる人に何か言うのはご法度ですね。頑張ってるんだけど、頑張ってるつもりなんですけどね、なかなか見えてないもんがあるんですよね、結構。 頑張ってはいたんだけどな。せっかくだから待ってる間はあれ出しときましょうか。待ってる間には、これを出しておきましょう。はい。次のシーズンですね。次のシーズンのやつですね。はい。次シーズンはこれですね。まあ、ヴァンガードですね。ヴァンガードのが来るけど、キーナー関係の話が全然出てこなかったね。さっきの言ってるけど。まあでもなんか衣装とかその辺はって言ってた気がするけど。VP とは何ですか？ ごめん、PVP を訳してるだけですね。VP とは。VE、VP つってますね。PVE、PVE。プレイヤー VS プレイヤーか、プレイヤー VS E って何？E ってなんだ？E ってなんだ？俺 E 知らねえな。PVE を知らない。エリミネーター？ね、そう、ヴァンガードのね、あれがなかったんだ。なんか、おそらくだけど、痕跡を探していくような感じですよね。次回のやつは。痕跡を探し、ケルソがいなくなっちゃって、ミッシングってずっと言ってたから、ミッシングってずっと言っちゃってたから、まあ、痕跡を探すんでしょうね。だから市役所からトゥーブリッジズ行って、フィナンシャルディストリクト行って、バッテリーパーク行って、まあ、ケルソの痕跡を、なんかちょこちょこ残ってんじゃない？エネミーなんだ。まあ、ケルソの痕跡を探しながらどうにかするって感じなんじゃないですか。ただ、ケルソ敵で出てくるのかどうかわかんないですよねっていう。ケルソくんね。ケルソって時計どっちにつけてたっけと思ってさ。ケルソは左に時計つけてんだっけ？主人公が右手につけてるだけかな。ケルソってどっち手につけてたっけと思って。右手が今何もついてないじゃん？だから、左手にもともとついてたっけと思って。あ、さあ、そうこう言ってる間に始まりましたんで、いきますよ。間違って、なんか文字が出てきた。ほい。やべ、さっきのメンバーが向こうにいるじゃん。これ勝てないんじゃない？いやでもね、この2人ね、スキルマンとしてはうまいけど、通常のプレイは普通ってことは分かってるから、こいつだけだね。一番下のやつが結構強いっていうのはさっき分かった。こいつはショッカーパンチですね。イクスロ。SHD は怖い。スナイパーか。サーチングは知ってる。顔なじみですね。この2人も、サンディトマトとアポカリプスも顔なじみです。ケルソは死んでないんじゃない？一応探すし。さあ、頑張るぞ。ちょっと今日は負けても、あれだな。勝っても負けてもこれを最後にしよう。トイレも行きたいし。もうあと眠いし。ボコボコにやられるまではいかないと思うけど、ある程度、あれだよね。苦戦は強いられる可能性がある。まあでも結局俺が無駄死にをしなければいいだけだから。まあノーエイム連泊も練習の成果を見せるときだね。ここね、ちょっとやりづらいんだよね。上下差が結構あって。ここね、結構やりづらいんですよ。スナイパーいなかったから、ここを見てるやつはいないはず。一人右行ったね。
ローグのドローンを検知。ローグのドローンを検知。
はい。 左行ったね、一人。砂泥持ちがいたね。
ローグのスティンガーハイブを検知。ローグのスティンガーハイブを検知。
完璧。
エージ
あ
ェントが助けを求めています。
真っ向に行き過ぎた。
重度の外傷を検知。
イクスルを止めたのはいいけど。
行動不能。エージェント性愛反応ゼロ。
スキル
ローグのディフェンダードローンを検知。
ちょっとあれか、あれ使ってみるか。
ローグのディフェン
一個ね、練習で試しでね、作ったやつがあるんですよ。これ。VP でしか使えないやつ。VP でしか使えないやつですよ。そこいるじゃん。
エージェントが助けを求めています。
いやー、左右にいるじゃん。めんどくさ。サーチングこっちにいるんだ。サーチングスナイパーだったよね、あいつ。ギャサイから撃ってくれ。いいぞ。で、多分助けに起こしに行くだろう。どうせ。
エージェントダウン。
後ろディフェンダードローン、そこか。おれ
エージェントが助けを求めています。
あそこにスティンガーハイブあるな。どっかにいるな、サンディトマトが。
ブーストオンライン間近。
キャバリーを使ってるから倒してないか。ちょっと惜しいか。
ブーストアクティブ。
あれ今下いなかった。ナイスナイスナイス、味方ナイス。
ブーストを味方が確保しました。味方がブーストを入手しました。
手前にいるね。
ローグのインシネレータータレットを検知。ローグのインシネレータータレットを検知。
倒したのか。倒したっぽいね。キャバリエ使ってるからね、あれなんですよ。スキルだ、味方にスキルダメージをね、
ローグのドローンを
カットできるんですよ。
ローグのドローンを検知。ローグのエクスプローシブ追尾マインを検知。
そんな追い込めてるはずないんだけど
ローグのエ。クスプローシブ追尾マインを検知。
あそこにいるね。あれこれ背後取られてない？でも味方が見てるね。
ローグのディフェンダードローン
大丈夫だ
を検知。
キャバリエがいるぞ。
ローグのディフェンダードローンを検知。
キャバリエにがいるからスキルダメージはカットできるぜ。
ローグのスティンガーハイブを検知。
全然効かない。
ローグのスティンガーハイブを検知。
キャバリエ強いな、全然効かねえわ。そこね。左行った？そこいないね。誰か上取ってない？これ上来てんじゃないの？あっち側は見てる味方がいるね。
特殊サプライドロップを送っておいたわ。
あのタレット耐久値が低いな。めちゃくちゃ奥いるんじゃないこれ。あ、めちゃくちゃ奥いるんじゃないか。あ、いたね。痛い痛い痛い。まあ俺状態性100% だから効かないんだけどさ、出血が。で、キャバリエだからそもそもダメージも通らないんだけどさ。 あ、一番奥にもいるね。ほら、どこ行くぞ。あ、味方が一人落ちた。くそー。あいつ赤森なんだよな、痛えわ。
戦いは半分終わったわ。特殊サプライドロップを取り損
まあ
なったわね。
状態勢なんですが、
銃と外傷を検知。
倒したー。
求めています。ローグのインシネレータータレットを
あれ起こせないな、多分。赤森がうぜえな。
ローグのインシネレータータレットを検知。
起こしたいけどな、いけないかな。
ローグのエクスプローシブ追尾マインを検知。ローグのエクスプローシブ追尾マインを検知。
いや、これは味方のフォロー行った方がいいな、多分。こっち行って、で、これで索敵をして、あ、そこにいるね。オッケーオッケーオッケーオッケー。
ローグの追尾マインを検知。ローグの
そこにいるんだよ
追尾マインを
めちゃくちゃ
検知。
危ね。
ローグのスティンガーハイブを検知。
ほう危ね。
ローグのスティンガーハイブを検知。
これは上取った方が有利だね。オッケー、キャバリエがね、結構効いてる。カバー入るぞ。
ブーストオンライン。
これは、味方がもうあっち見てるから、もう追い込んでこう。これはもうね、追い込んでった方が勝ち。ナイスー。
エージェントダウン。
これはもう追い込み業でいくぞ。出てこれねえもんな、こっちまで来ちゃう。よっしゃ。で、こっち行く。どうせこっちから出てくるから。
エージェントが助けを求めています。
で、隠れると。
ブースト停止間近。
ああ、今の外したの惜しい。味方やりすぎじゃない？行きすぎじゃない？それ。
味方がブーストを確保。
味方フォローできないよ、それは。
エージェントダウン。
めちゃくちゃ
味
後ろいる。
方がブーストを入手。
ちょっと下がるか。さすがに。あ、でもいるな、一人。一人いたから。
ローグのエクスプローシブ追尾マインを検知。ローグの
オッケーオッケー
エクスプローシブ
味
追尾マインを
方揃えば勝
検知。
ちですよ。
ローグのドローンを検知。ローグのドローンを検知。
そこにはいないね。
ローグの追尾
あ
マインを
いた
検知。
ここだろ。
ローグの追尾マインを検知。
あ、違うみたい。あ、痛い。このグレネード痛い。スキルマンのグレか。あの奥にいるね。
ローグのスティンガーハイブを検知。ローグのスティンガーハイブを検知。
ここに巻いて、こっち側に寄せる。
特殊サプライドロップ
倒したー。はい、ナイス。今の一撃はナイスだった。味方死んじゃうぞ、それ。体力見えてないぞ、ほぼ。どこにいんだ敵、これ。あ、そっちこにいんだね。違うか？
ローグのディフェンダードローンを検知。ローグのデ
よっ
ィフェンダードローンを検知。
あれなんか吸われたな。何かに吸われたぞ。
エー エージェントが助けを求めています。
おい、もう一丁行くぞ、そこ。間に合うかな。ここかな。あー、外した。
道具の増援はもういないわ。
ブースト
あれ、今ここにいなか
っ
ったまだ。やったか。味方がやってくれた。あ、痛い。
もうすぐ
痛いなぁ。でも俺これ回収してね、もう一回置けるんだよね。はい。
特殊サプライドロップがなくなってしまった。
何回でも置けるんですよ、私。
ブーストを味方が確保しました。味方がブーストを入手しました。
ここかな。まあ、撃たれたところでなんですが。ここ外したー。あ、でも味方が倒した。ナイスー。よっしゃ、行くぞ。
ローグのスティンガーハイブを検知。
まだスキルマンが生きてるな。
ローグのスティンガーハイブを検知。
あ、でもタイムアップだな。
ローグのアーティレリータレットを検知。ローグのアーティレリータレットを検知。
勝ちー。勝ちです。
勝ったわね。お疲れ様。
これは作戦勝ちですね。まあ、俺にアーティを持たせちゃダメですよ。実はね、サンディトマトっていうあれもう苗落ちして抜けちゃった子いるんですけど、あの子あれなんですよ。ダークゾーンでクソほど暴言を言う子なんで、ダークゾーンでクソほど暴言を言って俺たちにボコボコにされてどっか行っちゃった子なんで、スキルマンとしては強いんですよ。スキルマン以外はそんなに強くないんですよ。で、この間ダークゾーンで思ったのが、スキルマンでもそんな強くないっていうのが最近分かったんで、同じパターンで倒せるんですよ。
セーフエリア検知。
まあ、あと同じようにね、自分がアーティレリー使うんで、逆にアーティレリーを使われた時に何が嫌いかっていうのをね、分かるんですよね。その対策がやりやすいので、そこは多分、考え方次第じゃないですかねと思う。だからさっきのやつはディスラプター持ってきてましたけど、あれなんですよ。だからアーティ止めるやり方って邪魔じゃなくてディスラプターがいいんですよね。ごめん、あれ粘着爆弾ですね。これがね、一番実用的なんですよ。なんですけど、状態上耐性持ちにするとあんま良くないんですよね。さっきみたいに状態以上かかっても、俺がそもそも状態以上かかんないから、まあ壊せないし、やられたところで、当たったところで、俺が一回しまっておけばもう、邪魔なんてなかったことになるんで、そうですね。状態以上耐性はね、こんな感じで持ってますね。これ前ツイッターで言った気がするな。状態耐性はこんなかな。トラップ耐性、電波妨害、炎上、出血かな。基本的に相手のキルトリガーになるやつ。リッチウェイとか、出血とか、炎上もそうだね。炎上も、炎上をクリーピングデスでばらまくっていう戦法もあるんですよ。とか、これ俺もあるよ、多分。ちょっとパーツが集まってなくて、ここに村上とか入っちゃってるけど。これはね、状態異常耐性が入ってるやつですね。状態異常耐性が一定値まで振ってやって、敷地まで振ってやるやつかな。そう。で、ここが本来はあれがいいんだよ。コントラクターグローブにして、コアを黄色に変えたいんですけど、そのコントラクターグローブが手に入ってないので、まだちょっと、仮で村上が入っちゃってます。そう、これあれなんですよ。粘着爆弾と、ハイブで、ステータス効果盛りですね。完全にあれ狙いです。DDD 狙いですね。もう普通に出血とかスリップダメージ狙いで。で、うまくいけば、アーマーがそんなに持ってない人がいたら、試合開始直後に、 先頭走ってるやつに粘爆を当てられたら全員炎上で4人一気に死ぬっていう戦い方ができるんですよ、これ。やばいです。アーマー巻くの間に合わないんで、黄色6のステータス森の炎上粘爆は。とかっていうやり方もありますけど、要はそれの対策ですね。で、炎上は持ってるような感じですね、RT は。これかな。うん。あと出血、電波妨害はもちろん、トラップ耐性はあれですね。ライオットホーム狙い。ライオットホーム耐性ですね。カバー入っててもライオットホームだと顔出しちゃうんで、それを対策しておけば、そもそもカバーから顔出すこともないし、さっきみたいに上が取れればほぼ完璧な戦略が取れるんで。と、途中でスキルマン対策で出してたのが、これですね。キャバリエですね。これちょっとまだ研究途中です。完全に。何せこれ昨日作ったんでね。昨日作ったんでコアとかまだあれだもん。こんな最適化とか何もしてない状態。逆に言うとこれで戦ってましたね。そうですね。で、これは状態上耐性が 100% になってるんで、状態上耐性 100% までしてあるんで、味方に、何秒に1回だっけな ?10 秒に1回ぐらいかな。で、70% まで増えるから14秒かな。14秒に1回ぐらい、70% カットの、出刃。14秒に10秒かな。14秒経った後に10秒間だけ味方に 70% スキルダメージカットの効果と状態上耐性ですね。を振り分けられるんで、さっき味方が、俺と同じようにステータス効果盛りの出血の背部とかを食らってもほぼ何も食らわなかったのは、普通ね、あれ食らったら終わりなんですよ。一発でも食らうと出血で死んじゃうんで、まあそれを防げていたのはキャバリーのおかげですね。まず状態上耐性で出血が効かないのと、スキルダメージが7割カットされるんで、それで効かないという感じですね。ここはちょっとね、研究段階ですね。カバンを入れると早くチャージされるんで、カバン入れるとね、7秒でチャージされるんですよ。カバン入れると7秒で、7秒やった後に10秒バフ。で、その後もう一回7秒やって10秒バフっていう、回転がめちゃくちゃ速くなるんで。でも、忍者を入れると、状態上耐性100がめちゃくちゃ積みやすいんですよね。っていうのをあって、ちょっとここをどうしようかは今、まだ研究段階ですね。で、明日、マイスターとか再調整の、調整が来るんで、そこでちょっとまた最適化とか、マイスターとかはやっていこうかなって思ってます。で、あと最近俺の定番になってるのはこれですね。これはアンブラですかね。先手必勝ビルドです、これは。あれなんですよね。フルチャージした段階での、セントエルモ、もしくはウルボロスの連射力がすごいことになるんで、で、もともとクリ率、クリダメが高い状態でやるんでね。今これで51の147になってるんですけど、で、1個だけね、ショック耐性積んでるんですよ。これ、80% か。ショック耐性はね、80% まで積んでて、厳密に言うとこれをつけててもショックかかるんですよ。ショックはね、80何パーだから、90% にしないとショック効かなくならないんですけど、正直ね、80% まで持っていくと、ショックしてる時間がね、0.2 秒ぐらいなんですよ。なんで、ショック弾を撃たれない限り、肘打ちとかのやつ以外は、場合は、殴られても、殴りモーションが終わって銃に持ち帰るまでの間に動けるようになるんですよ。80% で。なんで、80% で止めてますね。その代わりに、振りダメを上げてるような感じ。147% で、マックスバフになるとプラス 100% なのかな。これ。これか。これ。RPM が 0.3 上昇で、クリティカルダメージが 1% で。スタック50だけど、ボディを入れると100になるんで、だから、RPM は 30% RPM は 30% 上昇して、連射速度が 30% 上昇して、繰りだめが 100%、プラス 100% ですね。になるんで、まあ、繰りだめがすごいことなんですよね。200なんだ、247ぐらいになるんですよ。247ぐらいになっちゃうんで、結構楽しくなりますね。で、RPM はめちゃくちゃ速いと。この速さかな。で、ビジランスがついてるんで、プレイヤー相手だったら、このぐらいで全然倒せるような感じですかね。そう、これ、クリティカルダメージ、これね、245%。これ、まあ、毎秒減ってくんだけど、そう、えげつないダメージになってるでしょ。クリティカルダメージがえげつないことになってるんで。まあでも、これで、まあ、バックを当初は入れてたんですけど、バックって回復なんですよ。カバー入った時の回復量が上がるんで、ただ、さっきの戦い見てても分かると思うんですけど、接敵したらまずカバーに入ってる暇がないんですよね。なんで、回復する暇がないので、それだったらまあ先に殺しちゃおうっていう考え方ですね。まあ、あと、あわよくれば、ショック耐性積んでないやつがいたら、あわよければ殴ればショックになるんで、っていうような感じでしょうか。まあ、いろいろやり方がありますからね。ハンドラはアンブラが最近気に入ってるってことですかね。このビルドが先手必勝としてはいいかな。打ち合った時にそんなに強くないのが結構難点かな。ビジランスが消えちゃうから。そんなところですかね。まあでもキャバリエが思ったより使えてたのは良かったね。証明できたわ。結構。カバン入れてもいい気がすんな、これなら。カバンが結構いい仕事をしてたんだよな。まあいいか。とりあえず今日はこの辺で終わりにしたいと思います。ちょっと3時になっちゃうんでね。とりあえず終わりにしたいと思います。明日楽しみですね。あれが。新しいアップデートですね。楽しみにお待ちしましょう。アップデートが終わればいいですけどね。メンテナンスが。というわけで、今日はここで終わりにいたします。お疲れ様でした。おやすみなさい。